Peace, and flowing with the way of the harmony. So I want to do a quick crystal collabo. This is something I work with. Actually, I mentioned it. I don't know if I did a full video on it already, but I want to speak about it again because I was just feeling basically just how I was speaking about creativity and certain type of relationships and certain almost uh energy vamps to a certain, not necessarily energy vamps. I don't remember how what I brought it up as, but anyways, you get the idea. I want to talk about Fire Agate, Carnelian, and Tiger's Eye. So basically, I was just catching the vibe and feeling the, just how it would be a very beneficial thing to share universally because it's important for all of us, whether you male or female, to protect your sacral chakra. You know what I mean? Because that's where uh, creativity is stimulated a lot of the times, especially in the females. Females gotta protect that energy double time. You know what I mean? But that's where a lot of the creativity is stimulated from. A lot of the fertility, a lot of the you know kind of like almost inspiring action as well. And it's crazy about how all these little illusions or little distractions, whether it's television programming your programming through your television, or these distractions within weather, or some other external bullshit like how they go around town setting off their sirens when there's not even like an accident or emergency. Yes, they do it because of training certain times, but they usually just do it to provoke fear. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds crazy, but you know, just if you in a town, whether it's big or small, nowadays they do it everywhere, and it's fucked up, right? We don't want to put too much attention to it, but you got to be aware of what they're actually doing. They're trying to provoke fear, so that's why it's important to protect that sacral chakra. Because if you have fear within that center, then it's hard to create. It's hard to be confident. It's hard to bring fertility to uh, those ideas. It's hard to put that imagination into action. You know what I mean? It doesn't always start there. Imagination actually starts from a higher chakra, vibration, higher vibrational frequency, a higher octave. But when you ground it, that's part of where you take the initiative. It's from that sacral and solar plexus, but in this case, we're talking about mostly about the sacral. You know what I mean? So it's important to protect that energy field tenfold. You know what I mean? And these are beneficial crystals to work with: Fire Agate, Carnelian, and Tiger's Eye, because all of them protect the sacral chakra in some way, shape, or form. All of them deal with grounding, and all of them stimulate different octaves within that orb. For example, Carnelian stimulates that creativity, that confidence, that grounding energy, that protection of that orb, and uh, helps balance chi and fertility and that personal power within that chakra. You know what I mean? Similar with Tiger's Eye, but Tiger's Eye is uh, the crystal of movement, of happiness, of easygoing, of viewing things from a higher perspective. So this is a very beneficial crystal to work with within that combination, because it helps you travel from those lower chakras to the higher, as well as being able to bring those higher vibrations back down, and create your own little cycle. It's a circle. It's a energy wheel. It's a zero. You know what I mean? Because that's where everything really comes from. The zero to the nine, all the way down to the one, and then back to the nine. Because really, nine becomes before the 0, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But then you can also go from the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean? It goes both ways. It's a full circle. It's a full spiritual cycle. You know what I mean? That's why, getting on a whole tangent real quick, but that's why uh, cycle or a zero is formulated to the feminine energy, because it's the yin energy. It doesn't have any bump or misleadingness. It just flows infinitely. You know what I mean? And you can relate it to certain elements, but really it's all elements in one. Because when all elements come together, it becomes an etheric state, an etheric energy. You know what I mean? That's why when you can fully realize this, you can so-called, like I joke about that idea, the fully realized avatar. You know, you can move through your energies, your chakra wheels, your orbs, and be able to be in that state of your etheric essence. You know, some people call it the disc. You know, it's a level of uh, I don't want to say like awareness or consciousness because it's more so like subconscious. It's basically harmonized between the two of the masculine and feminine. But it's but in this case it's a little bit more feminine because that's where or not feminine as in like gender, but feminine as in energy because it's the divine feminine. Everything starts within the the depths of that ocean, you know, the uh the darkness of the divine feminine, and then it becomes, you know, the light. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain, but don't trip off the words. But getting back into it real quick, uh, yes, like what was I talking about? Well, Tiger's Eye, my bad, damn. Tiger's Eye also promotes chi and personal power, and is also you know, a good one to work with in meditation with your breath, as you can stimulate and visualize, you know, your that breath traveling up to the spine, up to the crown and back down again to the root. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a very good one to work with in combination. And I always suggest fire agate because fire agate deals with that grounding energy, but also is a strong crystal for psychic protection, as well as its essence basically is in the sacral chakra. It deals with the root and solar plexus also, but a lot of the time it deals with the sacral because it's also protecting you from psychic attacks. Each of these crystals deals with protection, but in its own unique way. Like fire gate is protection against psychic attacks, being able to send that psychic attack back to the sender so that they learn the lesson, or even it helps you prevent psychic attacks from yourself, not being too judgmental of yourself, not being too egotistical to yourself. You know what I mean? Or not being too egotistical to somebody else when you're working with this crystal. And like I always say, all these energies are within us, but sometimes it's useful to to use these tools to help you harmonize that energy, help you tune into that energy, help you to to a certain degree, like program your subconscious. Like if you do have subconscious blocks, these crystals, these tools are useful and extremely helpful to help you to uh, be more aware and travel through and basically just clear things up, clean things up. You know what I mean? Also, damn man, I'll be all over the place. But basically, like I'm going off a couple like little notes here. I just kind of jumped into it. Oh, I was gonna bring up Carnelian's protection. Like I was saying, Carnelian's protection is protection of the sacral chakra because that's where it resonates with at home. I guess you could say, like each zodiac has a house. Like for instance, Aries is the first house. It's at home in the first house. You know what I mean? And uh, its star or planet is Mars. You know what I mean? And it's at home. Same thing with crystals. Each crystal has a place of being home, has a place within its uh, has a place within the orb within the body. Like each zodiac has a place within the body. You know what I mean? Yes, it has an animal trait, but more so it's about the place within the body, the organ within the body. Like how you can relate carnelian uh, to Aries to a certain degree, but more so it's a little bit more of like a Scorpio, because Scorpio deals with the genitals, with the reproductive system. You know what I mean? Not to get too much into that right now, but that's one way to look at it. So carnelian just deals with the protection of the sacral chakra to its entirety. You know what I mean? And also stimulate, like I said, it stimulates everything dealing with the sacral chakra. Tiger's eye, like I said, tiger's eye is just a protection from any and all negativity, but not so negativity, more so just like non-beneficial energy. Anything that's coming at you maliciously, Tiger's Eye is the one to work with. That's why I suggested these three in combo. You know what I mean? With that being said, too, like they're all gonna like basically Tiger's Eye is also gonna promote that movement, so it's also gonna be a very strong crystal to work with that deals within that solar plexus. So even if you didn't work with, a certain crystal that doesn't, like even if you worked with these three for your lower chakras only, fire agate would be enough groundingness for the root, and almost deals with like the earth star chakra as well. Dealing with the knees to the feet, below the feet as well. It's enough grounding to be able to pull that in, but it also it's a strong, in my experience, it's a strong stimulus for the sacral chakra. Carnelian at home in the sacral chakra, and Tiger's Eye deals with all three. Root, sacral, and solar plexus. And it's kind of more at home in the solar plexus to a degree, but it does deal with all of them, and it is just a strong protection and groundingness. And like I said, it does promote movement, so it can be, in the lower orbs, or it can be even higher up in the orbs, because it deals with that travel. Usually, it's not always beneficial to put Tiger's Eye above the throat. Tiger's Eye tends to be kind of more uncomfortable once it passes through the throat. You want to keep it below the throat, because as you can see within the color combinations, Tiger's Eye can come up in color hues of blue and yellow, bluish yellow, to red, and like if you ever worked with Tiger's Eye, it's usually always like a goldish yellow with brown, or you know what I mean. It's different combinations. There's some that almost appear like greenish because of the color combinations between the yellow and blue. You know what I mean? But it's all about the piece that resonates with you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to get into that too much on all these tangents, but I'm just kind of spitting things from my perspective, some of my own insights, and some of the things that I just pick up on as I work with crystals, as I work with different energies, as I study these energies within myself, and also do my external research. You know what I mean? So I hope it's helpful. And just remember, to always protect your sacral chakra, as you should always protect all of your chakras. But a lot of times, different types of malicious energy will always try to attack your sacral chakra for whatever reason. Well, mainly, I already stated why they would do that, because they try to attack your creativity, they try to attack your fertility, they try to attack your confidence, they try to fuck up your self-esteem, so that way you can't approach things like you're worthy. We are all worthy. You know what I mean? But if you're too much into an illusion, if you're too much into a distraction, then you won't feel worthy of what you truly deserve. We are always worthy of what we deserve. So by all means, step with confidence. Work with these crystals if you feel shook, if you feel anxious, if you feel stressed, or you feel like there's a malicious energy trying to manipulate you. You know what I mean? Get yourself in balance, get yourself in tune, and flow in your spiritual harmony. Peace, peace.